I'm now being joined by an expert in mortgage issues, a professor of Estate Management, School of Environmental Sciences, University of Lagos, Professor Timothy Nubi. Good morning, Professor. It's good to have you on the program. Well, I'm so sorry I had to drag you out of your house when you should be enjoying the holiday.
I believe it's part of the national assignment.
Oh, well, we thank God. Well, first of all, we're looking at mortgage refinancing.
Okay.
Now, first of all, for some lay people like us who probably do not know what this is all about,
Right.
What exactly is mortgage refinancing?
Well, I'll try in this session to make it as simple as possible for any layman at home to really understand this thing. Well, let's say a mortgage bank. There was a time in this country that for you to start a mortgage bank, you need about 5 million. You need about 50 million. They increase it to 100 million. Let's imagine X mortgage finance company, a primary mortgage bank. We have many of them in the country today. The leading players are the guy that mortgage, homes. We have all these mortgage homes. Let's say they have about 500 million in their cover. That's the money they have to do business with. Remember, banks were to recapitalize with 25 billion. They were still within the range of 500 million to do their business. And you and I, we know the price of a house in this country. Let's say the price of a house is 5 million. Now, this man has 500 million as a primary mortgage bank. He has given loan to 100 people. A mortgage loan is usually between 20 and 30 years. Mortgage loans are lengthy loans. It can be 1 year, as we have it here. Yeah. So he has given 500 million naira loan to mortgagors. You understand what I'm saying? So the question now is, does he wait for the 20 years when they pay back for him to be in business again? No. He has given a loan to people. He has collected their collateral security, which is the house itself that is used as lend. He has created a portfolio of loan of 500 million that he has given out. This is with interest. So in 20 years' time, if all the loan is repaid, this man has about 600 million plus the interest on his business. But he won't wait for those 25 years or 30 years. He has put his portfolio together through a process we call securitization. He goes to a capital market, to a secondary buyer. He sells that portfolio to a Nigerian arrangement before the corporation that was newly launched. It was FMBN. You sell it, mortgage-backed security. You sell it. So the mortgage portfolio is sold. The primary mortgage bank now becomes liquid. They have enough money again. Probably is supposed to make in about 20 years' time 600 million. He's selling out at 520 million. He's okay with just 20 million profit. He keeps on his profit in his business. So that is the refinancing. A portfolio is created. The whole process is securitized. Then, through securitization, that loan, that portfolio is bought. You understand what I'm saying? So that is the simple meaning of securitization. Refinancing, mortgage refinancing, you say all these things, there are different layers. When you say it within the context of US, there are so many things. There are so many things that it could turn to. But let me just say, the present setup that we have is to allow the primary mortgage organization to have a way of offloading, selling their portfolio so that they can remain in business.
Okay. Now, tell me, when you first heard the announcement that government has established a mortgage refinancing company, what came to your mind?
I felt frustrated.
Why? I mean, they are trying to make, supposedly, that was the reason, trying to make houses affordable for Nigerians. Whereby, and from your explanation,
that's right.
If I want to own a house, I go to a primary mortgage institution.
That's right.
I get a loan.
That's right.
probably to own my own house.
That's right.
Perhaps at a 5% interest rate.
That's right.
Supposedly.
That's right.
Of course, this enables the PMI also to go to the mortgage refinancing company to sell it off at a lower interest rate.
That's right.
Again. So why would you feel frustrated if I have to?
Because there is an institution to do that. We are multiplying institutions in this country.
Okay, so you're talking about the Federal Mortgage Bank.
The Federal Mortgage Bank should have been empowered to do it.
Also, but what have they been doing all this while?
It doesn't mean that this one will perform. That's the question. That's the question. If you have an institution that you are paying billions as salary to workers, it's not that you have scrapped them. They are still there. They are still there. And you are creating a parallel institution. What is that wise? We had it in Ogun State years back. Before you drive in, there's OPIC. Another government came and created Gateway Development Company, doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. We just create institution. It is not the creation of institution. We should diagnose our existing institutions and see what they were not doing right and correct. We have said that much of our resources in this country is for current capital, paying salaries. And we don't have enough money to do capital projects. And we're still creating institutions, creating a general manager, creating layers of officers in the new company. And FMBN is there doing nothing. A big institution as FMBN. Another new organization coming up, big as them, supposedly doing almost the same thing. There were courses that were never taught many years back in University of Lagos that we are teaching people now. We don't have petroleum engineering in University of Lagos years back. So you have to start University of Petroleum Engineering because University of Lagos was not doing it before. Let us look into our institutions and see what is Federal Housing Authority not doing right. Let us restructure them. And that was what we started 2006. We must have refinancing. It is the end of the chain. Land, real estate finance is a value chain. I kept on saying it's a system, it's a value chain. It starts from land acquisition, development of infrastructure, vertical, horizontal infrastructure, the building of the houses. There must be primary mortgage bank to buy. There must be secondary mortgage institution, refinance institution, like this one, where the primary mortgage could settle. And there must be tertiary ones at the capital market that you can even buy from this institution. You know, because these ones too, they don't have unlimited source. So it's a chain that must be developed. But what I'm saying is that we are going through a good process, but in a wrong way. What eventually happened to FMBN will happen to this new organization. But we're in this country that someone turned around, the lady that turned around NAFDAC. NAFDAC was turned around, NTA was turned around, Federal Inland Revenue was turned around. Institutions have been turned around in this nation. We can diagnose and turn them around. That's my intake. All
right. Aside from the Federal Mortgage Bank issue, a lot of people have expressed the fear, the repetition of what happened with Freddie Mac and Freddie Mae.
That's right.
That if this is not well managed, this might really cause a bubble, whereby people, you say you get this interest, you borrow at a lower interest rate. You find out that these primary mortgage institutions will have to scrabble for competition. There will be a lot of competition, and then they give out a lot of and then you find out that a lot of people get this loan and probably will not be able to pay up this loan, and we have what would kind of a bubble. Do you also express that same fear?
Well, no matter our fears, you can't say because there is fear that in labor room the woman might die or the baby might die, and say there is another shortcut towards having a baby than to become pregnant and get to labor room. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a process. There is no way the nation will not have a refinancing organization. We must have it. You understand what I'm saying? So what is left for us is to learn from American experience. What led to American experience is not the problem with the process. It's a problem with the operators. It's a subprime lending. Giving loan to people that they knew would not pay back.
How do you establish who could pay back? Now, looking at, we have a population of 160 people in Nigeria.
That's right.
And then we have, the statistics is showing that Nigeria has a housing deficit estimated at 17 million.
That's right.
Now, looking at the average Nigerian.
That's right.
And their salaries.
That's right.
How many Nigerians do you think that can actually finance, a home,
those are the stories.
mortgage?
Those are the stories we have been saying year after years. You see, you know, I use the word frustrated because you are saying the same story almost every day. The problem of Nigeria, like we said, like you rightly said, the refinancing is key. But the question is, the refinancing organization that was set up, you look at the so-called giants in Nigeria today, who are they? They say, we are the big mortgage banks. Ask them how many loans they've originated in the last 10 years. They'll be telling you something less than 10,000. When Fannie Mae that we're talking about, in 2004 alone, originated 3 million loans for new families. You understand what I'm saying? The whole process itself. Before we talk of refinancing, what happened to even the primary mortgage? That in the late 90s, there were 256, but today there were less than 20. Except we are able to sort out that primary level. Do we have secondary education when the primary education is in shambles? You understand what I'm saying? Those are issues. They are forward and backward linkage issue. But on the issue of 17 million housing deficit, who is giving the figure?